Hi everyone, welcome to The Snug. My name's Mandy. Hey, so I'm just going to take you on my journey of just like exploring purpose. About 15 years ago, possibly a bit longer, I just started having this little niggle, and I think the question that was at the forefront of my mind was, what else? And I remember at the time I was contracting, commanding a respectable daily rates. It wasn't at a time where I was in lack or anything, and there have been those times, but I just had this little niggle on the inside of me, and it was like, what else? And I remember thinking, I don't want to look back on my life and say, was that it? And that was the beginning of the journey for me. And at the time I stumbled across the book The Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, and I'll put the details in the description. Yeah, that just kind of really again started causing me to ask all these questions about my life and why I was here, and just like the questions that I started asking myself, I started presenting to God. There has to be more, what am I supposed to be doing? And that was the beginning of my journey. And then in my mind it was like, yeah, I'm going to get revelation of this big thing that I'm supposed to be doing, that I'm going to find fulfillment in. It's going to bring fulfillment, and I'm going to feel like, yes, this is what makes me get up in the morning, and it gives me all that vim and gusto, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I found my purpose. And to be honest, at the time I got that. I got something very significant that I knew that I was supposed to be doing. But I thought that was the end of it. But since, what I've learned is that what's the point? That pursuit of purpose is more of an attitude and more of a mindset. So other than the significant things in our lives and the significant platforms in our life that God presents to us and says, yeah, you're supposed to step up there and you're supposed to step up here, that in everything we do, in every situation and circumstance that we find ourselves, I'm finding that I'm increasingly asking myself, what's the point? And I'm finding that when I do that, what it awakens in me, or what it helps me to realize, is that we can find purpose in everything we do. And I was thinking about here in England on the Underground. Some of you may have seen it on the news years back, or maybe even experienced it. I think it was at Victoria Station that this guy used to do his little, what his job was is to announce the train arriving and just generally ask people to let people get off the train and to mind the gap and make sure everyone was getting on the train. And he just turned this, what some would say was quite a routine, mundane job, into such an exciting thing. He would put in these little jingles, his tone was like sing-songy, and I just thought, he must have said, what is the point in my job? And which led me on to think about purpose is linked to effectiveness, and it's linked to impact. Because I was thinking the amount of lives that guy must have impacted without even knowing must have been, phenomenal. The amount of people that pass through Victoria Station daily, thousands and thousands, and he's just doing what he's doing, but he's found a point in doing that. He's found a purpose in doing that, and in just doing that, he's affecting and he's impacting. And another thing I realized is that purpose is more about impact than it is increase, because that's why you find that money can never really bring true fulfillment, but purpose can. When you find the purpose in whatever you're doing, that's what brings fulfillment. The money doesn't bring fulfillment. I know I have friends, and I know loads of people, and I've read loads of stories where people have left their lucrative professions to go off and do something else, to explore a dream, to fulfill a passion, because money is never going to bring fulfillment. Purpose will always bring fulfillment. It will always impact, and it will always be effective. So that's what I've been learning. I've been trying to look for purpose in my everyday things. I ask, what's the point? Even in the things where you feel like, oh Lord, what am I doing here? This seems really dead-endish, what's happening? But there's always a point I get to where at some point, even if it's in hindsight, where I'm like, that's why I was there. And it's never like a big thing. It's always like someone just coming to say, oh, Mandy, thanks. Do you know that thing you said? Or, thanks for your time with this. Or, it's happened over and over again, especially in the workplaces where I've worked. At the time, I'll be thinking, Lord, I'm not sure why I'm here. It's like, what's the point? But the point always becomes apparent. So purpose is also about having that what's the point attitude, that what's the point mindset, and finding a point and a purpose in whatever we do. So I'm still on that journey, and I don't suppose that journey is ever going to end, because it seems like there's always more. Just when I think like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, there's always more, because the truth is, if we're living that out daily, there's always going to be more. Not more in the way of increase, more likes, more subscriptions, but more that God is pulling out of us to do, more point in the daily things of the daily platforms that God is bringing into our lives. And that's how we actually recognize that there is more purpose. There is a purpose in our everyday lives, in our everyday living. So there's purpose in your being a mother, in your being a father, in your being a sibling, an employee, a friend. Find the point in whatever you're doing, because there is a point. And somehow it's just all connected, because God created you for a purpose. So all our gifts and talents that are on the inside of us that we sometimes take for granted. You love exercising, you love cooking, you love speaking, or you love chatting. All those things that are just, this is what I do, and this is what I enjoy doing, and this is the way I do it. What you'll find is when you begin to ask what's the point, you always find your purpose in those everyday things, and you begin to find fulfillment in not just the big things, not just the, write the book and launch the business and start the YouTube channel, but just in the little everyday things you begin to find purpose. It's that pursuit of purpose mindset. I know, I've got another acronym, guys. Pursuit of purpose, POP. I know. Don't shoot the messenger, but I do love a good acronym. I'll rein it in. But that's that pursuit of purpose, that POP. That's what we're looking for in our lives. So we're just driven by that. What's the point? And finding the point and walking in that sense of purpose and intentionality. And knowing that, this little thing that I'm doing, it's fulfilling me, but it's also having an impact, and it's also effective. So that's me for today. I hope that, it's helpful to you, and I hope that if you've got a niggle, don't ignore the niggle. Let the niggle become a nag. That's what happened to me. It started off as a little niggle, and then it started nagging me. It really started provoking me. I became restless, and I'm still restless. I'm not, because I think I've just put on this attitude of what's the point, looking for purpose. So explore your niggle. And another thing I'll say, especially for the bigger things, if you like, there's always a kind of some kind of confirmation. You'll get people saying, oh, you're really good at that, or why don't you do that? Have you ever thought of that? And it goes a long way in helping you not to just discount or push it aside as that thing. Because God brings confirmation. It goes a long way. So, and some of us, people have been telling us these things over and over again and for years, and we've just been like, I know. Explore your niggle. So I'll put the link of Purpose Driven Life in the description. I'll also put a couple of scriptures in there. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, also thank you so much for all your love and comments and encouragement after the first video. So much appreciated. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next video. God bless. Bye.